Welcome to Affording College with Aaron Greene, founder and president of College Liftoff.
Hey, thanks, Steve 30 Guy. Hey, everybody. So welcome back to Affording College. This is a podcast that started a little while back, but truth be told, we got busy. We got busy for a while. My company and I, College Liftoff, with just doing college planning for our clients, that I had to take a step back for a bit and just work on that, which is a great place to be, to say the least. But now it's 2019. Our staff has grown quite a bit, too, in order to accommodate the demands for college planning needs and help. And I'm reintroducing Affording College as a way to offer advice to help our parents, to help our students across the country when it comes to all things college. So there are, to say the least, a ton of questions and unknowns out there when it comes to college. Everything from why is college so expensive to how can my child get into their dream school to what's the best college major. And truth be told, there's no one central place to answer all those questions. So that's really what this podcast is about, to be honest with you. Being the central source of all the answers to your questions specifically. And hopefully helping you think about higher education in a whole different way. But that's kind of a lot to tackle. And I can't do it all on my own, to say the least. So today I'll be joined in the studio by various members of my amazing team and college planning experts throughout the year, along with sometimes adding a student and a parent or two just as guest experts as well to kind of give you firsthand account. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce my team of experts here at College Liftoff. I'm sitting here next to Emma. She's our manager of new client relations. Hey, Emma.
Hi, Aaron.
How does it feel being on your first podcast?
It's a little nerve-wracking, but I'm up for the challenge.
That's awesome. So, Emma, tell us why you're here.
Yeah, thanks, Aaron. So I'm here because I really think that spreading the word about the importance of college planning is so necessary in this day and age. When I was planning for college myself a few years back, my plan began and ended with fit, really. Ohio State had a great football team, and my high school buddies were going there, and that just kind of like checked every box that I needed off of my list. And when I got there, I really did feel pretty lost. I had absolutely zero idea what I wanted to do professionally, and I really lacked that direction to connect me with the real reason that I was at college, to learn a skill set and to get a job afterwards. I was lucky that I happened into finding the right degree for me by the end of my freshman year, which was strategic communication, basically public relations. But having that lack of direction freshman year ended up manifesting in me taking an extra year to graduate, which went along with an extra year of tuition that I had to pay for. I was lucky to find the right career path for me, but many others aren't. And I think it's crazy that we leave a decision worth up to $80,000 or even more dollars in some situations up to chance. And that's why I'm so passionate about the work we do here at College Liftoff, and why I'm super excited to guest star on this podcast with you.
Oh, thanks, Emma. That's really well put, to say the least. You've done a great job. She's done a great job of just working with our kids for years now. She started actually with us as an intern years ago, and she's now graduated into the position, like actually managing a whole new department, stuff like that. So I couldn't be proud of her more than I am. So thanks a ton, Emma.
Thanks, Aaron.
I'm also sitting with Paige. She's our manager of client planning.
Hey, Aaron, what's up?
Hey, how are you doing?
Good.
Good. You started with us back in the summer, which, truth be told, to everybody out there has been a godsend. I can't tell you how much and how important Paige has been to our process, and really bringing on our new advisors and really training them and making sure that they fully grasp and understand what it takes to do good, thorough career development work and planning with teenagers and kids from all sorts of different backgrounds. And Paige has really added that element for us. But in your own words, what kind of brings you to this?
Well, now I'm sad that this is a podcast and not a visual, because then you would see my halo. Thank you. So I've been in education for years. My master's is in elementary education. I've worked in elementary school and middle school. And for a long time, I worked in early intervention. And that's really where my heart is, and not because I just adore babies, but because I loved the family education piece of early intervention. I would go and work with babies in their homes, sometimes in daycare centers, but mostly at home with their parents. And so much of the educating that we did was this very collaborative process. And that's what I love about College Liftoff. So we don't come in and tell families how to do this. We help them figure out how best to do it for them. So, and it's just different for every family. If you have an athlete, your path is going to look a lot different than if you have a kid who already knows that they want to be a doctor. So, and they are planning ahead for their medical school.
Thanks. Yeah. Like I said, Paige has brought so many different elements to our planning process that aren't just the very standard setup. Now we can work with students with IEPs and 504s. Now we can work with students more in depth, even on the athletic side, just for the things we've been able to add to our process and practice that really hone in and help all sorts of students and all sorts of parents going through this. So it's been a huge help.
Thanks.
So, thank you. So next I'd like to introduce Alex.
Hi.
Hi, how are you doing?
Good, how are you?
She is our director of marketing here at College Liftoff, and surprise, she's actually my wife also.
Yay. Yes, I am. I actually became involved with College Liftoff shortly after Aaron and I were married.
Mind you, I tried to get her in here before that,
no.
by the way.
But no, to be honest, I always knew what College Liftoff was doing, but I was a real estate agent. I still am, but I was a full-time real estate agent and doing marketing as well. Throughout my career, I'd helped clients that had either ended up not being able to buy because they had too much student loan debt, or couldn't qualify for a mortgage that they really needed to buy a house that they needed for their family because of student loan debt. And after we were married, I was helping clients, and it just dawned on me, like, wow, this family's in their mid-30s and really can't afford to buy the house that they need for their family because both parents had amassed so much student loan debt. And I just thought, parents, really well-meaning, smart parents, send their kids to college, with every intent of setting them up for success. And nobody knows that they are actually, unless they do this right, they're actually hindering that student's success when it comes to going forth in life. So it dawned on me, like, College Liftoff is the solution. What they do is actually the solution. So I went home and I told Aaron, like, you need to make this a thing. You need to spread the word about this. And he's like, well, help me. So
I tried to get at her earlier before
here I am. So that's why I'm here, to spread the word about this, to really help students and families understand that there's a better way to do this. And we are sending our students to college so that they can be successful in life. But, we need to know what that entails, and we need to do it the right way, or else it's going to backfire.
Well, that's a part of the bigger picture, right? And this is something we talk about all the time at work, but nobody realizes this, that college planning affects every aspect of what we do. All of us, truth be told. I mean, we have a student loan debt problem where it's at $1.5 trillion, for crying out loud. That's going to affect every other market along the way. I mean, it's second to mortgage debt. Like, credit card debt isn't even in the ballpark of this. So when we're talking about college planning, we really have to think about this differently. I mean, we're buying an asset that now we have on the books at $1.5 trillion in total debt. In proper budgeting and career planning, it's the greatest hindrance for college graduate success as it exists today. But people are starting to see this. I mean, we're starting to see this a little bit more and more. We talk about it as what time in the morning are we to this conversation? I still say it's like, 5:45 in the morning to this conversation.
It's early.
That's an old Reagan slogan. I don't know if anybody ever remembers that. But people are starting to see that. And that's why we went to actually start adding members to our team this past fall. We ended up getting over 200 applicants just for one job posting, actually. So what did we do? Well, instead of hiring one, we actually did hire 3. We just went ahead and hired 3 instead to just kind of really get us rolling. But we narrowed it down to the 3 applicants we really thought had a passion for this work and advanced understanding of what's really happening with college today. And as we talk through this podcast, especially in future episodes, college has gone crazy, to say the least, and really have a good grasp on that makes a big difference. And that's how we really wanted to be able to add people to our team that really understood that. So I'm happy to introduce you to our team here, our team of advisors. We have Yoshi and Juleanna and Sara. Yoshi, I'm going to put you in the hot seat first. Tell us more about, what are you doing here? Why do you want to be here? What drives your passion about this work that you're doing?
All right, Aaron. So I think to answer this question, I have to really talk about my background a little bit. So
please.
I went to Ohio State, and I ended up with a BS in anthropology and a minor in biology. I think the key words here really are ended up, because I don't think that was quite something that I consciously decided to do. The one thing I wanted when going into college was really just to do something I was interested in. And I mean, anthro and bio totally fit the bill. But as those are liberal arts, I kind of got exposed to a bunch of different disciplines, which, for better or for worse, I found a lot of things I was interested in, and maybe some things I might have been interested in more. I mean, I'm happy with my path. I'm happy to be here, and I'm also happy I was fortunate enough to have an opportunity to teach abroad last year in Japan. But now I'm here, and I just wish that I had some knowledge about the world of work and the world of school, because that's really what I think is important, and that's why I'm happy to be here, because I think I can give kids that. The knowledge to make an informed decision.
That's great. That's an important part.
So I also want to ask Juleanna, what do you think about that?
Yeah, so there are about 4,000 colleges within the United States alone. So not only do students have to make a choice about which school will take their money, they also have to ask themselves the million-dollar question, why am I even going to college? For many Americans, college may not even sound like an option due to various circumstances. And for others, they just don't know where to begin. Having to figure out what you're going to do for almost the rest of your life is pretty nerve-wracking. And for me and many of my friends, knowing that I had to make this major decision that would impact my future made me procrastinate the decision even longer. So I decided to randomly select a school and major without doing any real research beforehand. As you've probably figured out already, that put a huge dent in my wallet, and I'm going to have to pay that price for the rest of my life, probably. I want to prevent this from happening to as many people as we possibly can. I want people to know that anyone could go to college as long as they plan properly. That is why I'm so passionate about the work that we do at College Liftoff. We build confidence in students and families to know that, yes, I can go to college, and yes, I will be able to pursue a career that I love and will also pay the bills.
That's a great answer. It's a great perspective. It's a great firsthand account, too, which is really really important for us here at College Liftoff. So that way our kids can see this stuff from our own perspectives and really be able to take that information, and we can help them better by the experience that we've all gone through. So for Sara, how about you? What really brings you here?
Well, for me, the most rewarding part of being a College Liftoff advisor is truly unfolding the many paths there are for our students. We all know about the major careers like doctor, lawyer, teacher, but students rarely research outside of that. And we're here for that. Seeing a student go from being unsure of what even is out there to pinpointing the exact program and outcomes that allow for them to reach their passions is what makes what we do so important and so vital. I know for me, I could have definitely used College Liftoff when I was in high school. I went back and forth and teetered between what I wanted to major in, and I made the choice to go to the closest major university near me, even though it might have not necessarily been the best choice for me. At College Liftoff, we are here so our students don't have to go through the same struggles that we might have had when we went through college, and that's what really makes College Liftoff the best at what we do.
So thanks, Sara, and thank all of you guys for giving your thoughts and your feelings and how and why you're a part of this work. Folks, I can't tell you how valuable these folks are. They're real superstars to us. I mean, out of 200 applicants, we were really on planning hiring one, and we ended up with 3 amazingly talented folks that really do a great job that I see every single day working with our kids on the career development side, where they spend literally years working through this stuff with each individual kid. And actually, they end up spending well over 40 hours apiece with every one of them just doing so, just to make sure that they really fully grasp, the student really fully grasps where they are from not just the career standpoint, but leading into finding the right schools that make the most sense based off of that information. And then the work that they're doing with parents every day also to make sure that they have everything they need in order to make the best decisions as a whole, as a family, on college, from the academic to the financial. I can't thank them enough. They're exceptional at what they do, to say the least. And truth be told, we wouldn't have it any other way. As we continue to build this process out, we really believe in it, and we really champion it every single day. And I want to make sure that we have folks that are working in our organization that do champion that every single day. And to that point, we've now surpassed over 675 clients, and we've saved our families over $35 million in that time frame over the last 9 years. So thank you guys a ton for being here, and we'll be hearing more from them and more from other college planning experts along the way from our organization as we go forward, and also making sure that we're answering some of your burning questions also. With our time left, I'd like to address at least one of those questions that we already have on the table, and it's one that we get pretty often, and it's, why is college so expensive? So there are a lot of reasons. None of them are good. I'll start there. None of them are any good. Interestingly, the thing that we have to think about with college, and the best way I can answer this, is think about this in a way that you do with everything else, in the sense of when you buy soap or when you buy milk, gas. But things are commodities, and they're based off of supply and demand and what market variances really have. College is truthfully no different than that. If we really look at when college started to spike, now it's been going up ridiculously for the past 35 years, but we see an interesting spike that happened mid-2000s, 2006, 7, 8, where things literally went through the roof. What else happened at that time? Financial crisis, actually. We went and we started a depression. So what happens when people start losing jobs? They start trying to find ways of getting jobs. At this point, people flock to education to think it would solve the job crisis problem that they really had. And instead, all it did was flood the market with bachelor's degrees. Universities at the time were, and you could say, smart enough to understand that this was now in demand. They could now charge literally whatever they wanted. And nobody questioned it. Nobody's questioned it. Even to this day, we still have problems with people questioning the cost of education when they're being asked to pay over $70,000 a year to send a kid to get a bachelor's degree. It's insanity. Mm-hmm. So that's where we see these things really spike. It was really due to a supply and demand issue at that moment. There are other things that have caused this too. But think about if you've taken a recent high school or a soon-to-be high school grad on a college visit, how much did they tell you about what you're actually going to get out of this from an educational standpoint, what type of job you're going to get? They show you the nice, pretty dorms and the awesome new gym that they just built and all these other things that are basically candy, and the decision-making process where they're asking you to spend upwards of $70,000 a year. That's not a real honest perspective. And truth be told, this is something we do every day in our practice. It's something we're going to do in this podcast. We're uncovering that. We're just going to be pulling that apart so the way you guys, the audience, can really see what's going on here and really have a clear-cut idea of how education is constructed. You'll hear me use this term a lot if you haven't already. The economy of education and how it's constructed and built, and the fact that no one's torn it apart before. Nobody's ever questioned it. Why do we need to? Like, the conversation we've had since this country was founded about education is that you need to get educated. Above all things, we have to be educated. And I still completely agree with that philosophy. But now we do have to ask, at what cost is somebody charging me that? And what are they actually giving me in return? And then how can I measure the whole thing in the end anyway, so that way I know I'm getting the value out of it that I need? So that's a starting point for that question, because the truth be told, I'll probably answer that question maybe 6 or 7 different times in 6 or 7 different ways, because there are a bunch of different reasons for why college has gotten so expensive. That's a big major one. So as you can see, we're really looking forward to this season of Affording College. So join us next time, and we'll have a very special guest with us on this one. It's one of our past clients and current college sophomores, Madeline. She's going to be visiting with us and tell us how she's doing, as well as leave our listeners with some good advice about how college is really working for her and how things have really gone after going through a process like ours and seeing how things go.
College Liftoff can help empower you to make college affordable for your student. If you want to learn more about your options, Aaron will be responding directly to your emails. Email him a question at aaron@collegeliftoff.com. Thanks for listening to Affording College with Aaron Greene of College Liftoff. If you'd like more information, visit collegeliftoff.com.